Hey everyone, it's your boy Matt. It's currently the 2nd of February 2026, and this is a personal update. Alright, I'm gonna put these glasses back on because I don't want to see that hideous thing. Alright, here we go. So, I'm back at the National Library. The last time I shot a video here, I was up in there, up in one of the reading rooms, and I was using this really funky machine. And it's really cool, and you get these microfilm. So it's like this old school plastic stuff. So it's a plastic sheet of paper that it's see-through, and it's got like tiny pictures, and you put it under this big magnifying glass, and you have this screen, and you're able to like see what's on it. And that's how I was reading some old school journal articles on applied behavior analysis and positive behavior support. Now, in that video, I describe a couple of things. First of all, Michael's Law, which is a description of the attitude of the Canberra police and our military and all the authoritarian institutions I've had to interact with. And Michael's Law is, if you are sufficiently incompetent or inadequate at the task at hand, like you're not skilled enough, you don't realize you're not skilled enough, right? Like, then not only will you not know the difference between your incompetence and your malice, right? And that's a variation of something called Gray's Law, which is very important in healthcare. But like, you will not know the difference between your sadism and your malice. And your sadism and your lack of ability. And you're not going to be able to distinguish between the two, okay? And you're going to start being sadistic, and you're going to start causing suffering, or you're going to start acting out your ideology and acting in what is overall a way which is counterproductive to both your aims, the aims of the institution, and all these different things potentially, because you can't fucking distinguish between the darkness, your sadism, your problems, your motivations for doing what you're doing, the behavior you're doing, and you don't know what competent is, and it creates this really bad mess. Really fucking bad mess. That's Michael's Law, okay? Right? That's a bigger, broader picture of Michael's Law, okay? And that's the description of the Canberra police. And I was up there trying to describe to them, reading positive behavior support plan stuff, the theory behind ABA, the laws that we use, because it's a very restrictive, it's a very defined thing. Our job is to protect the rights of people with disability. Okay? We take it, people who are positive behavior support practitioners, that is their first thing. They can tend to behaviors of concern, but the biggest thing is to make sure that that vulnerable person isn't being tortured. And there's a lot of ways that you can torture people with disabilities. For example, with autistic children, if you put a shirt on them which has the wrong texture, it will feel like excruciatingly painful to them. Not necessarily excruciatingly painful, but they can't deal with it, right? And when you force them to wear it, you're actually causing that person a large amount of harm. So there's all these things like this. There's also the stuff like making sure people aren't being locked in rooms and drugged out of their fucking minds. There's all this stuff that we learn to how to protect people who have people in authority over them, but we also are responsible for making sure everyone around that person is treated with is safe, and that person isn't going to harm them. Because I have this skill set because I worked with people coming out of juvenile detention. I've had to talk down knives. I've had to talk down fucking everything. And I don't have a fucking gun and a taser, you fucking copper pieces of shit, you little bitches. Right? I have to do this without authority, the authority that you guys have, and without the fucking malice and the sadism. Okay? And I do it. I fucking do it. So when I see you guys abusing vulnerable people, and abusing me and working with these populations using excessive force or anything like that, I get fucking pissed off because I know you can do better. You just don't. And in my situation, it's been excessive. So fucking excessive, right? I got put on watch lists and abused by members of the Australian Signals Directorate and the fucking military, right? Because I was there at them at their fucking hobby martial art in their fucking gym, and they weren't able to fucking pull apart different motives. And because they're all hyper-nationalists, who are fucking clueless, who cannot do any form of useful intelligence analysis, and that's a description of our military, that's a description of our intelligence services,
because of their ideological disposition, they aren't able to separate themselves from their ideology and take a big picture. We don't have a historical capability. We've barely got a language capability in our intelligence apparatus. Like, it's just, they're fuckwits, okay? And the police are even worse. And when these fuckers do things to me, like they edit the content of my video to portray me in a particular way, that fucking infuriates me, because I'm a fucking social scientist, and we do not adjust history. We do not adjust the truth. We look at these facts, we study them, and we use this body of knowledge over time to be able to learn about the world. And when you start adjusting my message, you adjust the fucking mission of social sciences. And this is what corruption is. This is what corruption of the truth is. And it stops these institutions from being able to function effectively. That's why myself and David McBride have done the protest work we have, because when you incompetent shits cover shit up, we're not able to fix the institutions and the mess that you fuckwits create. And then the process repeats itself, and we get you dickheads going back in, causing people suffering to the community and you're not held accountable. I want a fucking sheet of paper at the end of this with all the people who've lost their jobs, right? I want you guys to be shocked. I want you guys stabbed. I want your institution to feel some fucking pain, all right? And I want you to learn from that you do not violate the rights of people, okay? You don't, and you certainly do not alter the fucking messages and narratives. We deal with the truth, right? That's what we're fucking fighting for here, and the ability for these institutions to be able to function, and they can't function because they can't tell the truth to themselves, right? And that stops them from becoming adequate, because I'm dealing with incompetence. That's what I'm fucking dealing with. If you are shit at your job, if you are malicious, you're not just a bad person, you're incompetent at your role. So you don't get to feel competent as you beat people up or cause suffering in the community. You don't get to feel competent as you abuse me. You are not competent. If you were competent, you would not be behaving the way you are, right? You would have fucking learned the message, because the thing is that my message is considered sufficiently valuable that they want to keep me around and keep me making intelligence work and keep me running this Tac0 project. They just want me to be chill with them, with not being paid, and for them adjusting the message. Fuck you, bitch! Doesn't work like that, right? These people, I'm having to fucking bring these institutions in line with their fucking mandates, right? Hope there is meant to be someone up in authority who has the competence, who's able to distinguish between their malice, their darkness, their needs, their ideology, and the mission of their institution is meant to have the character, fundamentally, in service to that institution as a leader of it, right, of that institution, a person who is a servant, a public servant of service, who is fulfilling a role, right? Because it's not them. Fuck that proto-fascist shit. This is a role that you're fulfilling. You just happen to be filling a billet. So that's what I say to these policemen and these people high up. Bear your responsibility, deal with the truth, stop altering key facts, and when you change my expression, when you change the content of my videos, you stop a judge from being able to determine what my actual statement is. You change me from the ability for me to provide technical information, because the language I use when I define a concept such as motivation interviewing are very different. In psychology, big difference between those two expressions, and it will get you in a lot of trouble if you fuck it up. Believe me. Now, with this, like, you need to understand that I'm giving you technical analysis. I'm giving technical data, all right? I am a social scientist. The people who trained me are social scientists. So even if you don't see me as a scientist, you can at least acknowledge me as an analyst and someone who works with data. And if we're doing that, like, if you change the data and I provide social data as I communicate, then that means that we're not able to build up a body of knowledge and get truth and build up on itself, okay? And the entire point of my interventions with the military is specifically to create an organization which can learn. Like, it gets incrementally better. It learns from its mistakes, so we don't keep doing stupid shit like Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. What the fuck? Right? and we're able to, we stop bastardizing our people We get a fucking HR department, and when you guys do stupid Machiavellian sadistic shit, when you're thinking that you're way fucking smarter than you are, you stop, you cram it in, and you look at the history of the past of your institution, and hopefully there's been some policies and procedures implemented, because you get a fucking HR department, and when your leaders misbehave, they get a fucking spank. Right? Positive behavior, fucking support for the military. I'm spanking you kindly. Right? Have a good day, everyone.